So I was in the UK, I think was December or January.
I think I saw like memes on Instagram in like, was it February or March or something? But I didn't like think about it at all.
Yeah, no, I thought it was kind of like weird to see, but I mean, like, I didn't think it was like hilarious, but we were just like, oh, like that's like crazy. Like we just started the year and like this like crazy new virus just came around, so we were just kind of like shocked, but we didn't think it was too serious. We thought it was just like a flu or something that was like you could just get treated for it like very quickly. So
I didn't get nervous because I believed effective medication or vaccination will be developed soon. Not happened.
My reaction was when it just happened in China. I didn't believe it. So yes, for me it was not serious.
So I didn't expect that it will spread into a pandemic to the whole world. This was quite unexpected.
All right, because basically I heard a lot of different versions. I heard rumors. The first one was that it came from a bat. The second one was that it's just a casual virus that's gonna go away, and viruses kill people anyways, but like this is kind of like a mutation happened. And the third one was that it was discovered by someone to kill people and help the planet or whatever. I still don't really understand that one, but then I actually saw what was going on, and yeah, it scared me.
I mean, it was the end of the December, I think. I remember. As a journalist, I was following very closely to the issue. So as far as I remember, it was spread across Wuhan and across to China very fastly, and then it started to spread other countries.
I learned about coronavirus, I think in February. My friends and I were super busy with school, so we didn't pay attention to the news, and we were checking on Twitter, and everyone was like joking around about a big virus. So I remember like the first like 2 weeks we were like just joking around about it. No one took it really serious. We were just like playing around like, oh, that's so funny. Like it's like just a little like virus. At first, no one really took it seriously. It was just kind of there. We just didn't think it could come to us because again, like we all just thought it was so far, but no one knows how like viruses travel so quickly. And then out of nowhere, it just came to the United States and it was everywhere. So that was like when we first heard about it.
It's actually, it's kind of weird. Like, I didn't realize it at first. And like, it was really shocking. No one thought it was coming here because the government was saying that it was not going to. And they were not making any tests. So nobody knew that they had the virus or they didn't have it. So it was kind of ironic that the government was saying there's no virus here because no one was getting tested. So how would you know if there is or there's not?
We got the first case a couple of days after when Italy got hit. I think we were 2 weeks backtrack from Italy. So was everything happening to Italy were like 2 weeks behind. So the first case there, 2 weeks later, there was the first case here. The UK was actually one of the last countries of the major countries, if you would say, like from Europe to actually receive a high number of infections.
This started saying, the government started to say like, no, we are not going to be so affected for coronavirus. We are going to be okay. Just 1-2 cases, blah, blah, blah. It was about 24 February. Well, 1 week later, we have more than 1,500 cases.
So basically what the Australian government said it to us for the first one was to just stay at home. And all the establishment is closed, like library, museum, like everything that happens, like a lot of people to come.
it's when they told people it's better to stay inside, and that's when people started to go out. And when the lockdown started, it started because of them. It was not going to start before, but after the young people started going out more, because they thought we were young, nothing's gonna happen to us, and that's when it became against the law to go out.
By law here, they cannot force people to be home because, like, one of the rights here, you have the freedom to pretty much do whatever you want as far as you don't affect the others. So going outside of the home, you're not necessarily affecting others, you're harming yourself. So they cannot arrest you if you're in the street. That's what I'm saying. They cannot, like, put you in jail because you got out of your house.
So Turkey has started to close public places, closed schools. They closed all mosques. We were not allowed to go to pray because, as you know, as a Muslim, when we pray, there is a man on the line. So we were very close. So they closed the mosque for more than maybe 2 months. We are not allowed to go outside during the weekends. There was a curfew.
Since we are a country of 1.3 billion, as I have told you, so a lockdown in such a country is a very tough measure. You need to make an experiment first. We are a developing country, and you can understand that many people are poor. So in March, I believe it was a Sunday when the government announced a curfew across the whole country as a step to see if the country can survive the lockdown period.
So it was definitely weird being stuck at home. It was a lot tougher to do schoolwork because colleges are super, super hard here and everything was closed, you know, so we weren't able to do anything really. And it kind of did suck, but slowly things are opening up. A lot of people are losing the hysteria, which was the problem too. Everyone was freaking out. So we're kind of like seeing people more. So it was a little bit better, but in the beginning it was rough.
It was actually really good for me because I don't have to go to my workplace when I don't need to.
And then I don't really know, like watching Netflix, reading books, talking to my parents, just kind of chilling, you know, no school, no nothing. I was so bored. Like I literally like cleaned my whole room. I took my clothes out of the closet, completely went through them, and yeah, that was how bored I was. Like I wouldn't do that normally.
It was good change for me because I start do exercises every day at home. Have a lot of time, free time. Yes. And I started eat healthy food because I also have a lot of time for preparing it. My life is changing good.
Actually, I focused on self-developing. Like earlier, I was not having any idea about Photoshop or doing self-portraits and all. So in this quarantine period, I used that opportunity to learn something about mobile photography since I'm not having any camera and all. So I learned about mobile photography, and from then, and like this, I spent my time.
So I read a lot of books, and I started enjoying reading again, and that was really good for me. And I feel like I could do like a lot on myself. I started working out, I started painting too, and I really worked on myself and improving myself. And not going to school, but having like lessons online, and they were like just 2 or 3 hours a day, and helped me a lot with like managing my time, having more time for myself, and just learning to appreciate my family more because we had to spend a lot of time together, and we became stronger and more united, I think, and it's beautiful.
We had like a curfew, so we couldn't leave the house from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. So it's not like we would be like arrested or pulled over, but it was heavily enforced that like we stayed home. So it was called like a stay-at-home order. We could not leave our houses past 8 p.m. Everything was closed anyway, so like you could if you had to like go somewhere for an emergency, but everything was closed, so there was really no reason to go out. We could not hang out with people or like have parties or have gatherings more than 10 people.
Also, they are not allowed for first time. It was like, I think it was a 3 people, not allowed for 3 people to stay in a house. So like the police is always checking outside whether like the group of three, they're like punished as, I think it was like $16,000. And even in the park, if you're stayed and seated within the group, it's also be punished.
Well, punishment, I would say the police were very creative about it. I mean, for some, they would make them go up and down or do push-ups.
We were told to wash our hands properly. Like, it was everywhere, like, you need to wash your hands 20 seconds, keep 2 meters distance. Like, when you go to the store, like, every wall is keep distance. And we have, like, plastic between the cashiers and us.
We are allowed to go out 2 days per week. So it depends of your last number, the last number of your ID. So each day 2 numbers can go out, and you can go to the grocery stores and to the bank and everything.
So starting on June 15, in 5 days it would be mandatory the use of face mask in public transportation. So as people are getting back to work, public transportation is getting a lot crowded. So they are putting mandatory face masks in public transportation. Otherwise, you don't really have a guidance. Like, of course, keep 2 meters from each other, but that's pretty much it.
So yeah, the government said you must put on your mask before you go out, but there are no punishments, so people they are just not, I don't care about that.
Basically, we can like outside, like in parks, or when you go on a walk, or when you're in a restaurant which has like a sitting table outside, you don't have to wear a mask. But when you're in a bus, or when you're inside a store, or anything that is inside, you have to wear a mask.
So yeah, like Trump, like he didn't explicitly say he doesn't think coronavirus is real, but you can see that many like officials and many people in government are wearing like protective like face masks and everything. And Trump was like the only like family that was not seen to be wearing masks at all. I don't think in any occasion they were wearing masks. I think Melania Trump, his wife, First Lady of the United States, she wore the mask like once. So like I think there's a big division between them as well, because I think she believes in it more, but Trump again says everything and he's the president. But you haven't been seeing him like wear the masks. He doesn't really talk about it anymore. So there is a big like divide between our country in terms of like him who takes it serious. Again, he's supposed to be our role model, and he hasn't really been like that.
My President Erdogan, when the virus appeared, he didn't shake the others people when he had meeting. So he had social distancing with others, even himself. I mean, for his health and for his country's health, because he's an example as a leader, And Turkey has created a channel, especially for children, for students, for distance learning,
I believe the government of India and the state governments of various states are really doing a nice work to control this pandemic.
Actually, our government is not has such a good guideline, but our healthcare team, like doctor, nurses, are very good workers in here.
I don't think that we have taken the necessary measurements to actually do that.
Then they make a lot of bad things. They bought material wrong. They were like, I don't know how to say, but I don't think they are not politics or whatever, because they didn't know even how to buy the things for the hospital. So a lot of people from the hospital, I mean the doctors and the nurses and everything, got sick from coronavirus. So about 33% of the infected people were hospital workers. So that's because the government didn't act right. So I can talk that I don't disagree so much those decisions, because I wasn't so much affected, but I realize on, right? And I have to recognize that it wasn't so professional the way they acted. They the government says that now we have zero people infected per day, but it's because they are not counting. Yeah, they are not counting. Yeah, because they said that they were going to stop counting for some period to organize how the hospitals tells the government how many people is infected. Yeah, they said that they changed the method, but how can you change the method for counting?
Japanese economy is getting worse right now. Some people already lost their jobs, and those people who lost jobs are increasing right now.
Well, in specific, if I have to say, India is actually going through a tough time now because we are actually having this pandemic. And apart from this, you see Amphan hit India's massive cyclone that destroyed roads of properties. And apart from this, a few weeks earlier only, another cyclone hit our western coast, that is the side of Maharashtra, Mumbai, that side, again causing a massive loss.
And now that people start like going out and going to like stores and going to restaurants and pubs and everything, it's going back to the same as before. Like not the same, but it's getting worse and worse. And I'm scared it's gonna be the same.
It was under control when we were all in quarantine, and the only people that could leave the house was for work, and that was for like 2 days only. So everything else was home office. But right now, restaurants are open, shopping parks are open, everything is open, and it is going to spread. Like, it is starting now, and it's been a week.
So the problem is, like, a lot of people are advertising to use the gloves and the face masks, but they don't know how to actually use it properly. So instead of like wasting the money to like advertise it, like put like, you know, a few seconds on the news on how to properly discard, how to properly use everything. So the problem isn't like using it. Like, I feel like everyone would be fine doing it. It's just like people are doing it wrong, and that's like when it becomes an issue.
The thing is gonna be changed is like people are getting more distance, like social distancing. It's gonna be happen, like it's gonna be last for a long time.
It's such a virus, I believe. It's like HIV virus, which is actually continuously changing its shape. And I believe having a vaccine of this type of virus is actually very tough, and we have to actually accept that it's a part of our life.